Oh, is it working? Finally? Let's see. Let's go on YouTube quick and check. YouTube, my channel. Oh, looks like we are finally live. Thank the Lord. All right, let me share it quick so everyone can see. One sec, guys. Good morning to anybody who's on right now. Good morning, good morning. Let's share the stream on X real quick. And let's do it. All right, so what am I seeing on the charts right now? Well, we are about to hit my first target that I called in the Discord. I posted this on X too if you didn't see it. But oh my God, what a perfect setup right here. 950 to 1010 macro. You got your IFVG right here. We closed above. IFVG in purple. Close above, stop to break even once we take out this high, and you leave your runners all the way up to 18,952. In fact, right now, if we look at this, I mean, even right now, it's not a terrible setup, I'm not going to lie. It's almost 2-to-1 odd trade just from this point. So if you wanted to try this, you could. In fact, let's just open one on a paper trade just for shits and giggles. Now, one thing to keep a note, today is the day before CPI, so you have to be super careful with your trades, right? The day before CPI tends to behave erratically, but we can try this right now. Oh, whoops, I didn't want a limit order, I wanted a market order. See, this is a weird thing that happens with TradingView, and I don't know why it happens, but it just does. Where it doesn't show my orders. Is there like a setting issue here? Let me see. If I go to my settings and I go to trading, all my positions are up. So why is it not showing the positions? That's what I don't understand. It's very weird, and I don't know why that happens, but that is so odd. By the way, if you guys didn't know, there's a competition going on right now. It's called The Leap on paper trading for TradingView. And you can win up to $45,000 in prizes. I think it's not, you can't just win that for first place, but first place winner gets $3,000. So that's not bad. It's totally free to try out on. And yeah, this person right now is at a $20,000 profit on their trade, which is really crazy, but wow, good for him. That's great. But anyways, guys, let me go back to my account. Oh, here we go. So we are currently in with 2 contracts accidentally, but stop should be to break even if we take out this high. It's very feasible that we come back and test this fair value gap, then continue higher, but we want to see great movement here within this macro, right? We want to see it make the move by 10-10. If it doesn't make the move by 10-10, I mean, it's got to make it within a few minutes, plus or minus like 3 to 4 minutes. Otherwise, if it chops around, in my eyes, that signals that price action is not that clean, and it's probably better just to stay out. But our why is it not allowing me to move my stop and my take profit? Oh, it's literally this is the worst. It's literally the worst. Let me see if it resets if I put it here. Okay, so my take profit is there. You see, it doesn't let me. Okay, so that's a little bit better, right? How do I record on this? Record. All right, guys, so I'm trying to record this just so that I have it. But as I pointed out just before, this is that IFVG we created within a macro. Equal highs are right here, so that is where I want my target to be. I know this trading view is acting super weird, so it's not refreshing my take profits and my stop losses, but for this trade, a 1 minute close back below this IFVG will cut the trade. And again, today is the day before CPI, so you have to be super careful. I would not suggest trading this with live funds. But if you're going to trade with live funds, keep your risk tight. That's all that I will say. I'm going to also update the group that we are live trading on YouTube right now. Join. All right. Excellent. All right, so the only feasible move we have here is a trade back into the IFEG. But the fact that we had very little displacement above this high is a little bit concerning to me, I'm not going to lie. We also have, so this is not great, to be honest. We have equal lows right here, or did that, no, actually it took it by a tick, so it's not as bad as I thought. This is the draw, in my opinion. I think there might be some difficulty getting to it. They might try and chop us around, but these equal highs formed a long time ago, right? Let me take a look at the rest of the market quick while we're just waiting for that. QQQ, all these lines you see here, this is like an algorithmic program that I designed that marks weekly highs and lows, monthly highs and lows, quarterly highs and lows. So that's what you're seeing there, all those lines. SOXL, one of my bigger adds in the low 20s. I added around, I think, 24. This position, or 27, I can't remember, between this area. And this is an initial target for me, which is this weekly, I think it's maybe a daily high. It's the top of the gap. So I think SOXL's minimum is going to fill this gap. But for me, this is kind of more of a long-term hold. I mean, if we get a huge move very quickly to like 45, for example, I might cut some of the position. But in general, this is just such a low zone of adding that I'm happy to keep this. I'm happy to keep this as a long-term add personally. Someone was telling me that Coinbase was up like crazy today. Let me see what I'm seeing. Starbucks. Wow, this is going crazy. Oh my god. We added this. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. That is actually unbelievable. Starbucks is up 23% today. That is crazy. Oh my god. We added Starbucks. I've been adding it from, when was that daily drop? I added around, I don't know, 86? No, I added around 84. And I've been adding slowly to this position for a long-term portfolio. That is crazy. Where is this likely going? Well, I mean, we have this unbalanced FEG here. So I think at minimum, Starbucks probably going to hit 99 in the future. Wow, that is crazy. I might cut some of the position there because this is look at this move. This is crazy. That is a huge move for the period of, it's literally overnight. So you have to be super careful with this. Okay, see this? It's just consolidating and nothing is really happening in this macro, which I don't particularly like. I'll be honest. You want to see these moves happen within a macro. Yeah, you got to be super careful with this, honestly. Yeah, I am not a huge fan, I will be honest. So if we get a 1 minute close below the IFEG, you have to cut the trade. That's the rule. It's permissible for us to trade back into it like we did here, but let's keep watching this because even though this is a paper trade, you still want to follow your rules, right? You don't want... Yeah, you see the fact that this didn't happen within the macro, we had lack of displacement over an internal high. I don't like it right now. I mean, like I said, it could work, but just now that this is just displaced like this, the odds of it working are not as high in my opinion. Also, we have this fair value gap right here that we could be balancing, but like I said, because this didn't really fully move in the macro, to me is a very bad sign. And it's the day before CPI, so you have to be super careful. So in my book, right now, if we got some miraculous candle that came up and closed relatively close to this high right here, my stop would move to break even, and that would be the end of it. But I'm like almost positive now that we're going to go back down to this internal low. Sadly. But let's see what happens. Like I said, you have to manage your risk with a position. We have basically 30 seconds for this candle to close. So if it's gonna, I would honestly rather it just close on this candle, close below the IFEG, so that I don't even have to hold it for longer than I should. Okay, so that's a good sign that we're reacting relatively bullishly out of that, the IFEG. But we need to see big displacement in the next few candles. So let's see what we get. All right, so that's the new 1 minute candle that just formed. Again, this is the main draw for me today, but if you're just tuning in now, just be careful because it is the day before CPI, and in theory, we should have run this within this 10-10 macro, which finished literally 2 minutes ago. There is another macro coming up at 10:50, so it's possible that we could get it then. But, you know, I'd rather just see the move happen here. So I want to check something real quick. Where did I get out of this order? Wow, look at that big push. So because we just pushed above that high, I'm moving my stop to break even. 100%, no doubt in my mind. If the stupid, hold on one second, guys. For whatever reason, it doesn't reset my stop. So that candle right there, that should signify the move up to the equal highs. If it doesn't, price action is not great for the day, and it's just not something I want to mess around with. So that is why my stop has moved to break even there. And I would want to see us come up to this high right here. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sell one right here if we get it. And then we'll change this. Yeah, so I'm going to get stopped on this, guys. All right, there's the stop. Let's make sure that it reset itself. Yeah, so we are out of this position. I cannot believe what's going on with this stupid paper trading. So this candle should have been the displacement to move higher. The fact that it just did this, it's day before CPI, it's whack. Yeah, not for me. Wow. So I got out of... Wow. Wow, and Tesla's ripping too. That's crazy. Let's go. All right, that's dope. PayPal, how's PayPal doing? Coinbase up 2%. Nice. Wow, guys, look at the power of ICT. Like, this is literally crazy. We have this order block. Well, this is actually a breaker and then an order block. We come down and just tested the low of the order block. Let me see if we actually took it out. That is ridiculous. Like, precision is crazy. We just missed the bottom of the order block, and that was the push that we needed higher. Riot is up 1%. This is one that I have a super high risk play that I'm willing to risk 50% loss on. I'm currently down 23% on this position. I will be fully transparent. My ads were at, I think, around $10, maybe a little bit less, 9 something. But this is something that I'm willing to hold to 50% loss. It's a very small percent of my portfolio. And I think it's something that could have a massive upside if crypto starts to rally. What else is doing well today? Wow, Chipotle's down 13%. So if you guys didn't know, I think it's one of the CEOs or somebody in Starbucks decided that they were leaving. Somebody at Chipotle decided they were leaving Chipotle. Wow, that is crazy. That they were leaving Chipotle and they were moving to Starbucks. So that's why you're seeing the decline in Chipotle and the rise in Starbucks. But that is ridiculous. 23% on news of a new CEO. That's unbelievable. SOXL doing incredible. That is one of our biggest wins right now. Tesla doing so nicely too. That's awesome to see, for sure. Wow. Let's go. How is Shopify doing on the day? Shopify's up 1.3%. Bro, this is unbelievable. I'm up 30% on this position in a matter of like 4 days. It's tempting not to take some profits, I'm not going to lie. 30% is an unbelievable sign. But I follow my plan. The rule for this trade is to take profits at this internal high, this internal high, this internal high, and this internal high. So I'm going to be offloading shares within these 4 lines. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to get a drink. Thirsty as hell. In my little hotel room here. Look at this, guys. So this is exactly what we didn't want to see. So the fact, like I said, the fact that this candle didn't displace above this high and it just immediately closed below is a signal that we are probably going to go lower before we go higher. I know for a fact this is the ultimate draw. That is where the market is going, in my opinion. But we need to see now, we need to see some people get stopped out. So, I mean, this might be a draw. This could be the draw. If not, I mean, there's no setup here anymore. So I'm just not interested in taking it. If you really wanted like an A++ chase, if we got another rip above this internal high, you could just do a 1-to-1 trade and look for this. But again, that I don't see the point in doing that. At least with a live account. If you want to do it for fun with a paper account, be my guest, but that's not for me. Okay, guys, so we got a 1-minute close below the FEG. It's possible that we just did that to stop some people out and now we go higher, but not a high probability setup anymore to me, in my eyes. Let's see what's going on with the Mag 7 today. Again, not all these are Mag 7s. A few of them are just other positions that I have that I like to follow. That are, you know... wow. APGO is going crazy. Where did that high come from? Was that a weekly target? No. Is it an hourly target? I don't know. Some of these lines, I think some things get messed up on TradingView. Is it a monthly level? No. Hourly, not a 4-hour possibly? No. Yeah, I don't know what happens with this, but I marked this level for whatever reason, and it just goes haywire on me. I think it might have been on the daily. This, no, it wasn't that. I don't know what it was. Weekly. The 50% of this fair value gap is at 153.82, so maybe it was to do with that. I don't think so. Yeah, I have no idea, guys. But this is just a long-term ad for me. We took out this sell-side liquidity right here, right? There was a lot of liquidity resting below that low. I know it said equal lows into the label, but it's just a nice red line, so I use it sometimes. Wow, my QQQ position is going crazy right now. I was adding all in this area because, why was I adding? Because of all the equal highs that I saw on NQ. If we go over to the hourly chart, for example, I've been pointing this out for so long. We have these equal highs here. We have equal highs here. We have these, the 50% retracement. We have this unbalanced 4-hour fair value gap, as you can see right here, that I think we at minimum go to the 50% of. Change this to purple so that people can see it. And then we have these equal highs right here, equal highs right here. Algorithmic, they're perfect. Then we have this daily fair value gap that we have to balance. But at minimum, like I've said many times, I think that we're going to go to these equal highs and then to this 50% retracement. And then if you're just tuning in now, these equal highs right here, I think, are the main draw on liquidity for the day. But again, tomorrow's CPIs have to be super careful. Don't be sizing heavy with this. In fact, I would not even be trading this with a cash account, maybe a eval account or a funded. But this is the setup right now. We have this inverse fair value gap that we closed above. Now, like I said earlier, this should have been the candle to take us up to these equal highs, but because we dropped below it, I stopped at a break even. We did technically, this trade technically is not valid anymore because we closed below the IFEG. But I think at minimum we're going to go up to these equal highs. We are allowing this close below the IFEG to. We're basically like coloring slightly outside the line, so it's possible that this could still work even though it wasn't validated. But because it closed below and then now it's closing above, it's not an optimal trade for me personally. So I'm not going to be, it's not for me, honestly. What the hell is going on, bro? Sign in. Come on. Okay, guys, so this could be the long. If you really wanted to, if you're like super... if you're a real degenerate, you could try a one-to-one trade here. Or maybe like even keep it as like a... I don't know. It's such a tough call. But like I said, the setup was invalidated, so with a real cash account, I would never take this. But if you want on like an eval account or a funded account, you can try it. It's a one-for-one trade right now. You guys want to take it on a paper just to show you guys that you shouldn't be taking trades like this? I don't know. Oh, what is going on here? Look at this, guys. Okay, so this is going to be a nice setup right here. Okay, if we form a nice FEG right here. If we take out sell side liquidity, right? If we take out this sell side, or this one even, at one of these two, and then we have a nice bullish reaction and close and create a an IFEG here. Oh my god, that's going to be a fantastic setup. All right, so technically, okay, this could be a turtle soup. Like if you really, really wanted to try it, it could be a turtle soup. But I would not recommend doing that with a real account. Again, this is paper, so I might try it with a paper account. But let's see if we actually take it out. We just formed equal lows here, so this is going to be tough for me to take. We'd want to see it get taken out first. What's your name? Bob? Hold on one second here. Bob Perez. Yes, the equal lows are very likely going to be taken out, and then we could get a turtle soup afterwards. Yeah, a turtle soup. Turtle soup is when you take out an internal low and you immediately rebalance price. And that's what I'm going to show you guys right now, is if you really wanted to, you could try it. I'm going to try it with one NQ right there. Again, I have to refresh back and forth between accounts because for whenever, sometimes TradingView it doesn't like recognize when you take positions. So this is an example of a potential turtle soup. Again, I don't take turtle soups personally. It's not a high probability strategy in my eyes. It does give you fantastic entries if you're right, but if you're wrong, you will get destroyed. So you have to be super careful. But look at this, immediate reaction here, which is a really good sign already. But this is the real setup. If you get a close above right here, right, entering into this 1050 macro and equal highs, that's a fantastic setup in my book. But so my take profit will be a $1,700 profit here. Stop loss. I mean, even if I have my stop there, that is still, let's see. It's still almost a 5 to 1 hour trade, which is crazy. But again, this turtle soup entry is not a real strategy in my eyes, unless you are super confident with a draw on liquidity and you're trying to get fantastic entries. But again, I very rarely use it, if ever. Wow, so look at this reaction already. It's just beautiful, right? So we want to see a close above this fair value gap, making it an inverse. And then, just to reiterate, let's just say we close right there. Stop loss would be a close back below the IFEG. Take profit would be the equal highs. This is the setup that I'm looking for. Look at this, and fantastic reaction already. Like, it's unbelievable. Let me just change accounts again so that it refreshes, just so you guys can see my stop loss and my take profit. See, why did the take profit not recognize? See that? I drag it and it doesn't recognize. So what you have to do, it is there, but you have to reset the accounts. So you see now it shows that the take profit is up there. So guys, again, if you are just tuning in, this fair value gap is what's holding the markets down now. So most traders, if they are ICT traders, you know, they see this displacement, right? They see this bearish fair value gap. This is where they will short the market. But a lot of the times this doesn't actually work, especially when you have high time frame draws on liquidity that are higher. So for in this case on the higher time frame charts, actually the equal highs formed on a lower time frame, either a 5 or a 1 minute. but from weeks ago. So this level is a very strong magnet for price. So all these traders are seeing this ICT 2022 short, when in reality it could very likely just be it could be a trick signaling signaling investors short, trying to generate liquidity here, and then moving the markets up to these equal highs, and then maybe taking shorts afterwards. But a lot of the times when there's a higher time frame draw on liquidity that's on the buy side of the curve, there will be these little fake out shorts that are designed to get liquidity into the markets to then push it higher. So that's what's happening here. So this would be your entry right here, guys. Okay, stop would now be below here, and your break even would be when we hit this internal high. Personally, I would wait until we hit this internal high, and just give yourself a little bit of room because we are about to enter into this 1050 macro. So just keep that in mind. Bob, are you in this trade? Are you in the trade? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, day before CPI, you should not be using real funds. And by the way, guys, because of my fantastic entry here in the turtle soup, it gives me the luxury of being able to move my stop to break even. Because, let me tell you why. On a day like this, okay, hold on, let's reset the account so that it resets our position. So now you see that my stop is moved to right here. On a day like this, price action will behave erratically. It's not a good idea to use live funds. So if the market is going to behave correctly, we should not come back down to this wick, okay? We just shouldn't. In theory, it's permissible for us to go to 50% of this wick, but at that point, I wouldn't even want to risk being in the trade, personally. But what should happen here is that we should just get either a small retest of this FEG, like right here, and then a bounce, or I don't know what's going to happen. Like, if what I want to happen doesn't happen, then to me it's a signal most of the time that the market is not behaving rationally. And because of that, I don't want to be risking hard-earned money in a trade. But again, this is paper. But regardless, if this is a real account, for sure I would have moved my stop to break even here. Because if the market is bullish, we should not come back and retest this wick, in my opinion. But currently up 625. And let's see what happens. How is the rest of the market doing today? Yeah, so this could be a buy day. I mean, definitely could be a buy day. PPI came out. It was better than expected. CPI is tomorrow, though, so be very careful. That is one thing I will warn you on. SOXL up 5%. Tesla doing really nice, too, up 3% on the day. Let's see how that's doing on a higher time frame picture. My computer is lagging for whatever reason. Where are all my drawings on Tesla? Well, my Nike position is doing really well too. Wow. So I drew this weekly volume imbalance a while ago. Look how this is also known as a gap for retail traders, but look how we just tested it and now we're moving higher. Hopefully this is going to be the place that Tesla finally rebounds from. In my opinion, I mean, listen, guys, these cars are freaking driving themselves. It's unbelievable what is going on at Tesla. The only thing that's a little bit scary right now is that Elon is creating an enemy of himself to the Democrats. Like, they're an extreme party, so you have to be super careful as a CEO. Like, Kamala Harris, she sent an email out to all of her potential, what's the word I'm looking for? The people that are going to vote for her, for potential votees or whatever. And she said that Elon, the billionaire, is teaming up with Trump to end democracy. So if she becomes president, that's going to be not the best thing for his business as a whole. They're going to do everything in their power to make him miserable. So he's taking a big risk, but at the same time, he cares more about humanity than everything else. So it is what it is. But if I'm correct here, these cars are driving themselves. The robo-taxi business is going to be insane, right? Optimus, if that becomes a huge thing, that's going to be ridiculous. And just the potential, even if one of their products becomes massive, FSD, the robo-taxi network, Optimus, Dojo, Neuralink. I don't know if Neuralink is part of Tesla. In fact, I don't think it is. But Dojo, like all of these massive potential products, even if one of them becomes huge, Tesla will easily be $1 trillion company. They've been $1 trillion company before without this stuff, during this time when everything was just hyped up. This was crazy. So it's just insane. Even if one of these things becomes true, like if FSD and Robotaxi become a thing, that's probably an easy couple of $1 trillion over the next few, 5 to 10 years for this company. Not to mention everything else that's going on. So I definitely think Tesla is a great ad for the future. Okay, guys, you see we're just kind of chopping around. What I think is probably going to happen here, as you know, if you don't already know, the market runs on algorithms and on macro time. So there are certain times in the market. So for example, 9:50 to 10:10, 10:50 to 11 o'clock, 11:10, where the algorithm is designed to spool price in one direction or another, specifically to a high time frame draw on liquidity. So in this case, the high time frame draw is 18,952, which is a set of equal highs, perfect equal highs from a few weeks ago. So once we get to this macro time, we are expected to run price there. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, guys, so we just took out this internal high. We don't want to see the market reject from here. We don't want to see a lack of displacement like this. You want to see the market move higher. Like, you want to see displacement, not a lack of it right here. Right? You don't want to see this. Sometimes, they start the candle off weak to make it look like we're going to go down, and then they'll push it higher later. So, and also one thing that you want to note here is that every ICT 2022 short model trader is now stopped out on this position, right? So that's one thing to note. Now, in theory, if you were in this trade, your stop should be to break even now. But the fact that the trade was so high and the stop to break even is so close to your entry, it's tough to really have that as your stop to break even. And again, because I turtle soup this, like I explained, my entry is just miraculous, right? And so I have the luxury of being able to move my stop and not really have to worry about it getting hit. And if it does get hit, one of two things: I'm completely wrong on the bias, which I'm pretty positive I'm not at all. But if I am, if it does hit, then the market is bearish. It's just because it's CPI, the day before CPI, and the market behaves erratically. Yeah, so that was a nice close. Look at that. So we rejected, but now we're immediately displacing back above. So this is a very good sign, right? And we're also getting bullish right into the start of the macro. So this is very good in my opinion. Like I have talked about, this macro time, this is very key. If we don't hit these equal highs within the macro time, something is very off with the markets. It shouldn't happen that way. We just took out this high, so if you were in multiple contracts, you could take a profit there, take a partial, I mean, and leave runners up to the high. But I think that the odds of us going here are extremely high, so I would hold. QQQ doing really nicely as well. Tesla pushing to 205 on this. That is fantastic for some of my sold puts that are up like crazy right now. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, guys, take profit is almost hit. Take profit is almost hit. Almost there. And it might even hit before the macro, who knows, but let's see what happens here. Bob, this is final take profit. Okay, guys, we're about to hit right before the macro time. Perfect turtle soup entry, IFEG, and we are about to hit. Let's see if we get it for $1,700. Sometimes we get stalling before macro time, but let's see what happens here. What a trade. You guys like how right when this candle formed and this IFEG formed, I talked about a turtle soup and an IFEG, and it just happens? When you trade for long enough, you see these setups happen time and time and time again, and you know what the market, what good price action looks like, and what you would expect to see for a trade to go in your favor. It's just crazy how that works. Almost there. And again, so because of whatever's happening with TradingView, it's not going to fill my order. But when I restart it, when I go to this account and then I'll go back to Checkmate, you will see that the value will hit. And if you look at my P&L, the account started this morning at 99,331. It's currently at 100 and almost 101,000. So you'll see that this, when I reset the account, it'll be up to 101. Take profit is almost hit, guys. And it might just be right at the macro time, at 1050. That's crazy. And, oh, we just missed it by a tick. Right at the macro time. Let's see if we get it. Let's see if we get it, guys. What a trade. Oh, just missed it by a tick. You know it's going there, but it's just a matter of when. And it might now just like come down and maybe rebalance this for a value gap possibly and then go up. I mean, it's possible, but in my mind, there's no doubt that we're going up to those equal highs now. One thing that's a little bit sketchy is it is the day before CPI, and sometimes they keep equal highs to be taken during CPI, so it's possible that we just completely reject here, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm going to hold this for the video, but in reality, right now, I probably would take my profits. I'm not going to lie. For 1,500 instead of 1,755. Like, it is what it is. just because it's the day before CPI. If it wasn't CPI tomorrow, I would hold this for sure. And what I really do like is that we had big displacement above this internal high, right? So that's always a good sign. I like your risk management. Thank you for talking to the trade. Yeah, no problem, bro. Like I said, I mean, risk management is super important. This is a paper trade, and I had a turtle soup. This is probably where we're going to bounce from. But if we don't use this as a propellant up to these highs, like I said, it's CPI tomorrow, and they easily sometimes hold these equal highs and equal lows to get taken the next day. So that might be why we're rejecting a tick before the equal highs get hit. But who knows? Again, like I said, this is a paper trade, so I'm not too worried about it. But this should be where the market bounces now, from this fair value gap up to these equal highs from weeks ago. Like I said, these formed a few weeks ago. 18952. I called this morning in the Discord, so everybody that was in the Discord knows that I was looking for an IFEG setup, and here was the setup right here. It's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful PA. Yeah. Like, this was such a good setup. All right, this should happen here, guys. This should be it. For $1,755 on paper. Now, I may or may not be in this with an eval account, or a funded account, but like I said, you have to be responsible, do whatever you think is right. If a setup looks really good to you and you're willing to take the risk, by all means, but again, you have to be aware of the day. It's the day before CPI, so you have to be super careful with your funds. Sometimes it's boring just watching. Let's see if it hits, though. Let's see if it hits. Come on. Come on, man. Ugh, I hate when it doesn't deliver right away. So frustrating. You know, I'm recording this and I want to just be able to post it. So the fact it doesn't deliver immediately is annoying. And again, if you are just tuning in, we are in a 10:50 to 11 macro time, trading from within a bullish fair value gap. We had this turtle soup entry with an IFEG, displacement above highs, which is a great sign, and our ultimate draw on liquidity, which was called in a Discord at the beginning of the day, were these equal highs at 18952. So we are just waiting and waiting and waiting for these to hit. go. Okay, so we're trading back into the fair value gap. It's permissible for us to come back and rebalance it, and we also have another one right here. That's possible we rebalance. But ideally, I would like to see this hit within this macro time. So let's see if we get it. Nice, beautiful bullish reaction there. Let's see it follow through. We want to see this deliver in the next, what, 13 minutes? Otherwise, you have to be super cautious. All right, that's a great reaction. Let's see it hit. Come on. Come on, let's hit for 1,755. Paper Lambo. No follow through. Just gonna post that right now. Come on, let's see it hit. Come on. Come on, let's see a hit now. It is currently 10:59, right? Almost 11 o'clock. So we have basically 10 more minutes for this macro to finish. And that is when we want this to hit. So within the next 10 minutes. Hopefully on this next few candles, the next 2 or 3 candles, it'll hit. But let's see. If this was a real account, I would be moving my stop right here. I don't want to see us come back down into the fair value gap. But because this is a paper trade, I will just let it run, just for the sake of the target hitting. All right, nice move. We don't want to see the market stop here. Okay, we want to see it push way past this, up to these equal highs. If it stops right here, that's not a great sign. It's just another sign of bad price action, even though this has just been beautiful. But it should just, it should go right here. In 3. No. Oh, you see that? I don't like that. We want to see a strong candle close here. Okay, that was nice. Oh, this is perfect. All right, let's see it. No. Stay up now. Ooh, don't like that candle. Again, like I said, if this is a live trade, I would be out right here. I do not want to see the market rebalance again. Just a sign of choppy price action. I don't want to be in it. Sitting and waiting, part of the game, guys. Trading is not as exciting as people make it out to be. It is a slow, grueling, patience-testing process. Let's see how everything else is doing. QQQ is doing nicely. Wow, Tesla's up to 205. SOXL, one of my bigger ads recently, is up to 33. It's really nice. Wow, that position is doing so well for me. That has upped my the day trading. That's upped my net liquidity for my long-term portfolio like crazy. Tesla again, 205.50. That is insane. Great job on Tesla right now. Another thing that's been doing really well for me recently is Nike. I've been adding Nike in the low 70s. I think I added Nike for the first time at 72. We're now at 78. And I think at minimum we're going to retest this 50% of the fair value gap. So I'm going to cut some of the position of Nike at 84 personally. I might cut a little bit at 82 as well. But I think at minimum that's where we're going in the short term. So happy about that. About to get a nice bullish close on NQ. So that's going to be dope. Patience is a virtue, guys. We're almost ready to hit that internal high. Let's see when we get it. Let's see when we get it. And then, like I've been telling you guys time and time again, these are my higher time frame draws. The 50% level I've been calling for weeks now at 19,167.50. This sell side liquidity that was taken out normally acts as a magnet for price. And then, of course, these equal highs at 19,236. And then lastly, this is like the final draw for me, is the 50% level of this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. Oh my God, we almost hit it. Well, again, we missed it by a tick. Oh my God, come on, market, let's go. Just push here. Come on. Come on. Oh, let's go. All right, guys, target is hit. Target is hit. I repeat, target hit. For 17.55. I will reset the account like I said so you guys can see it went from 99,000 to 101,000 in equity. Trade is taken off. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go. All right, so that is clipped. I'm going to stop the recording so that, wow, it's been recording for 59 minutes. Where is that saving to? Show in folder. All right, so we have that saved, and we're going to make a clip out of that for later. Look at that, guys. Called in the Discord. Let's go. Wait, what is going on now? How do I go back to... All right, there we go. That's right, Bob. Let's freaking go. Sorry, shouldn't have said that. But we called in the Discord. 18952 hit. Let me alert the Discord quick so that everybody knows what's going on. Did I put that in market overview, guys? That was on the 4 hour, so let's bring it up to the 4 hour. Let's go. Target hit. Equal highs, baby. That's how the market runs. Wow, that was beautiful. What a beautiful trade. All right. So guys, that was the trade for today. I don't know if I really want to continue this live stream, but like I've told you guys, the ultimate draw is going to be this next set of equal highs, this sell side liquidity retracement, 50% of the leg, and then 50% of the fair value gap. So this box right here is where I would definitely suggest taking some profits on your positions, just in case CPI comes out and we have a market downturn. Now, what I'm expecting to happen probably is tomorrow for CPI, we get a big data candle up to that high, but we have to see what will happen, right? Guys, the exact same set I've had. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind. I didn't see. I thought this was a fair value gap, but it wasn't. Yeah, not a huge fan. Now, I don't have the 30-second or the 15-second charts, but it was probably a 15 or a 30-second FEG here. So we took sell side, traded into a bullish fair value gap. This could have been a great long too, up to internal highs. I'm not going to lie, but it is what it is, right? Dude, Nike's going crazy for me too. So 3 really big positions for me that are going crazy right now. Starbucks, SOXL, Nike, and then actually 4. Shopify is a huge one that's doing really well for me. So fantastic trade, fantastic day trade. Called out in the Discord the bias for the day. Called out the IFEG live on stream. Because long-term positions are doing well. What more can you ask for? Like, that's amazing. So guys, I'm going to end the stream there. I will stay updated. I'll keep you guys updated on other things in the Discord.